world we knew is shifting. Factories once stood tall in China. Now they're moving to India, to Mexico, to places you've never even heard of. But this isn't just a story about machines. It's about power, trust, people. Who builds your phone? Who loses their job? Who wins the war we don't see? This is the factory exodus, and everything is about to change. Chapter 1. Why are companies leaving China? For many years, China was the factory of the world. Big factories, busy workers, endless trucks and ships, toys, clothes, phones, computers, made in China. Everywhere you looked, made in China. But now, something is changing. Companies are leaving China. Big companies. Small companies. They are packing their machines, ending old deals, starting again, somewhere new. But why? Why are they leaving? Let's go back. In the 1990s and 2000s, China opened its doors to the world. Come here, they said. We have cheap labor. We work hard. We build fast. And companies came. From the US, Europe, Japan. They built factories, hired millions of workers. China became rich. Cities grew. Skyscrapers rose. But over time, things changed. Wages went up. Workers wanted more. Rules became tighter. It wasn't as cheap as before. And suddenly, other countries looked more interesting. Then, in 2018, the trade war began. The U.S. put taxes, called tariffs, on Chinese goods. China answered with tariffs of their own. Now, a phone made in China cost more to sell in the U.S. That scared companies. They didn't want to pay more. They didn't want problems. So they looked around Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, India. Can we build there instead? They asked. Then came the pandemic. Factories in China closed, cities locked down, ships stopped moving, and companies learned something new, something painful. They were too dependent on one place, one country, one supply chain. And when that place shut down, everything broke. So they decided, it's time to spread out. Time to move. Some moved to Vietnam, others to Mexico. Many looked at India, big, young, and hungry. India said, we can do it. Come here. And some companies did. Apple started making iPhones in India. Foxconn built new factories. More and more jobs moved south. But it's not easy. Moving takes time. Money, training. Some countries don't have good roads, or enough workers, or strong laws. Still, the shift has started. The factory exodus is real. China is not happy. They say, we are still the best. We have the skills. We are fast. And it's true. China still makes a lot, more than anyone else. But the world is watching, and the winds are changing. Why are companies leaving China? Because costs went up. Because the trade war made things risky. Because COVID showed the danger of relying on one place. And because other countries are rising. This is not just about factories. It's about power, control, the future. Where will the next iPhone come from? Will your next shirt say, "Made in India"? Will your new laptop come from Vietnam? The answer is still unfolding. But one thing is clear. The old world is gone. And a new map is being drawn, right now. This is the story of that change. This is the factory exodus. Chapter 2. Trade wars and rising costs. Tariffs. Taxes. New rules. The trade war changed everything. For years, making things in China was cheap, easy, fast, profitable. But then, it wasn't. Let's talk about what happened. In 2018, the U.S. made a big move. It said, "We don't like how China does business." So the U.S. started a trade war. What does that mean? It means the U.S. added tariffs, extra taxes on products from China, phones, TVs, clothes, furniture, hundreds of things. That made them more expensive to sell in America. Suddenly, a $300 product became $330 or $350. Ouch. Companies didn't like that. Neither did shoppers. China hit back. It added its own tariffs on U.S. goods, soja, cars, tech products. It was a fight. Back and forth. Tax after tax. And who paid the price? Businesses. Consumers. You and me. Factories in China saw trouble. They said, if the U.S. keeps taxing us, we'll lose our customers. And they were right. American companies looked around. Can we make this in Vietnam? What about Mexico? Is India ready? They started to move. Slowly, but surely. But tariffs were just the start. At the same time, costs inside China were rising. Wages were going up. People wanted better pay, and they deserved it. After all, they worked hard for years. But for companies, higher wages meant one thing: higher costs. Also, land prices rose. Electricity bills went up. Shipping became more expensive. Add it all together, and China was no longer the cheapest option. Once, a factory in Shenzhen could beat any price. Now? Not so much. And then came the rules. The Chinese government made stricter rules. Environmental laws, labor laws, business laws, more paperwork, more inspections, more delays. For some companies, it became too much. They said, "We love China, but we can't keep up." So they moved to countries with fewer tariffs, lower wages, easier rules. Was it simple? Number. Starting over is always hard. Training new workers takes time. Building new factories costs millions. But the trade war gave them a push. And once they started moving, they didn't stop. This was no small shift. This was a storm. And behind the storm, there was something bigger. Power. This trade war was not just about money, it was about who leads the world. The U.S. wanted to push back against China. China wanted to show it was strong. So now, the world is caught in the middle. A t-shirt made in China might cost $2 more. A phone might take longer to ship. A car part might need a new factory. It all adds up. And slowly, factories leave. Not all, not fast, but enough to matter. Some stay in China. Some go to India. Some go to 2 or 3 countries, just to be safe. Because now, companies are scared. What if the next war is worse? What if the next rule changes everything? They don't want to take that risk. The old way is broken. The new way, still uncertain. But one thing is clear. Producing in China is no longer cheap. The trade war started the fire. Rising costs poured on the fuel. And now, the factory exodus burns on. Chapter 3. India's bold opportunity. India is ready. The doors are open. The lights are on. The machines are waiting. This is India's bold opportunity. For years, India watched from the sidelines. China was the star. China had the jobs, the factories, the money. But now, something is changing. China is getting expensive. China is in a trade war. China is under pressure. And India sees its chance. Come here, India says. We have land, we have workers, we are ready. Big words, big dreams. But can India do it? Let's take a look. India has something special. People. Lots of people. Over 1.4 billion. And many are young, strong, eager to work. This is good for business, because factories need hands, need energy, need speed, and India says, we can give you that. The government is helping too. They're building roads, fixing power lines, creating special zones for factories. They call it Make in India. It's a big plan and a big promise. Lower taxes, faster approvals, less red tape. Sounds good, right? And companies are starting to listen. Apple makes iPhones in India now. Not just a few, millions. Foxconn, one of Apple's biggest partners, built huge factories there. Samsung is in. Dell is moving. Even car companies and chip makers are giving it a try. Jobs are growing. Towns are changing. Money is flowing in. It feels like something big is starting. But let's be honest. India still has problems. Power cuts, traffic jams, slow ports, too many rules in some places, not enough in others. Sometimes workers are not trained. Sometimes projects move too slow. And some companies get tired. They say, we tried, but it was too hard. So, can India really replace China? Not yet. Maybe not completely. China has 30 years of experience, super-fast trains, super-deep ports, massive supply chains. You order today in China, you get it tomorrow. India is not there yet. But here's the truth. This is not a race to copy China. It's a chance to build something new. India doesn't have to be the next China. It can be the first India, with cleaner factories, with better systems, with smarter growth. And little by little, the world is watching. Because companies don't want just one place anymore. They want options. They want safety. They want flexibility. That's why India matters. It's not just about price. It's about trust. It's about the future. And India is saying loud and clear, trust us. We're ready. So, is this India's time? It could be, if it can fix the problems, if it can keep the promises, if it can move fast and stay smart. Then yes, this could be India's moment. A bold opportunity, a rising power, a new chapter in the global story. The factory world is changing, and India wants to lead. Chapter 4. Mexico's rise near the U.S. A truck engine starts in the dark. By sunrise, it's already crossing the U.S. border. No boat, no plane. Just wheels on a road. This is Mexico's moment. For years, American companies looked far away, to China, to Asia, across oceans. But now, they are looking next door. Why? Because it's faster, closer, and sometimes cheaper than before. Welcome to Mexico, the new favorite. This is called nearshoring. It means moving factories closer to home. Instead of China, move to Mexico. Instead of waiting 30 days for a shipment, wait 2. That's a big deal. Just ask Matt, a manager at an American electronics company. Last year, his shipment from China was stuck at sea. 3 weeks late. Customers were angry. Matt lost sleep and money. Now, his factory is in Monterrey, Mexico. The parts arrive in Texas in 2 days. No ocean, no delays. Matt says, "We're faster, safer, and closer than ever." He's not alone. Big companies are moving in. General Motors, Whirlpool, Honeywell. Even Tesla is building a huge plant in Mexico. Why Mexico? There are 3 big reasons. First, location. Mexico is right next to the U.S. That means trucks can move quickly. No need for expensive shipping. Just drive across the border. Second, trade deals. Mexico and the U.S. have a special trade agreement. It's called USMCA. It makes trading easier, with fewer taxes. That saves money. Lots of money. Third, labor. Wages in Mexico are lower than in the U.S. And the workers? Skilled, smart, and ready. Cities like Tijuana and Juarez are full of factories. People line up every day looking for work. They want a chance, a better life, like Rosa. She used to work in a small shop in her village. She earned just enough to buy food. Now she works at a car parts factory near the border. It's loud. It's busy. But she gets a steady paycheck. Her son is in school. Her fridge is full. Rosa says, it's hard work. But it changed my life. For people like her, the factory exodus is not just a headline. It's hope. But not everything is perfect. Mexico faces problems too. Some areas have crime, some roads need repair. There are not enough workers in some towns, too many in others. And when factories move in too fast, prices go up. Rents rise, traffic gets worse. Local families feel pushed out. There's also a risk of too much dependence on the U.S. If the U.S. economy slows down. Mexico feels it first. Still, the energy is real in factories, in homes, in the streets of Mexico's growing cities. This could be a new golden age. One where Mexico builds, ships, grows, and not just for the U.S., for the world. Mexico is rising. One shipment at a time, one job at a time, one family at a time. The world is changing, and Mexico is ready to roll. Chapter 5. China responds, not so fast. You hear the noise, the headlines. Factories are leaving China. But deep in the east, the dragon wakes, and it whispers, not so fast. Yes, companies are moving. Yes, some factories are going to India, Vietnam, Mexico. But China is not watching quietly. China is fighting back. How? By getting smarter, faster, cheaper, in new ways. Let's start with taxes. When the trade war began, China moved quickly. It gave tax breaks to local factories. If you stay here, they said, we'll help you save money. Then came robots. China is now the world leader in factory automation. Machines that work day and night. No breaks, no sleep, no lunch. In a city called Dongguan, one factory replaced 90 workers with 9 robots. Same output, lower cost. And the machines? They never get tired. This is the future China is building. Smart factories. Not old, noisy buildings, but clean, fast, high-tech centers. With engineers, AI systems, and precision tools. Like at BYD, a Chinese electric car company. They don't just make cars, they make batteries, chips, even robots, all under one roof. BYD now competes with Tesla and wins. Even Apple, which moved some work to India, still keeps major production in China. Why? Because China delivers. Not just phones, but quality, speed, skill. And don't forget the supply chain. In China, everything is close. Screws, screens, chips, boxes, all just minutes away. Try building that in a new country, and you'll wait months, not days. That's why many companies still stay. Like Emily, a manager for a European kitchen brand. We looked at moving, she says, but the truth is, nobody does it like China. Her factory in Suzhou builds 10,000 ovens a week. Parts arrive at 8 a.m. Ovens ship out by 4 p.m. It works like a machine because it is a machine. But there's more. China is also building ties with other countries. Through a plan called Belt and Road, it invests in roads, ports, and power lines in Asia, Africa, and beyond. This helps China sell more, even if factories leave. And inside China, the government is training workers for new jobs, electric cars, green tech, semiconductors. They know the old game is ending, so they are writing new rules. Still, the dragon has problems. Young people are worried. Jobs are changing too fast. Some factories are closing. Some towns are quiet. But China is not giving up. It's changing, adapting, transforming. Because for China, this is not just about money. It's about pride, power, the future. And when the world says, "You're losing the factory race," China says, "We're building something bigger." So, is the dragon down? Number. It's just learning to fly in a new way. The battle is not over. The exodus is not the end. It's a shift, a storm, a challenge. And China is still very much in the fight. Chapter 6. Technology and Trust. Factories make more than products now. They make something invisible, but powerful. Data. And where that data goes, who controls it, that changes everything. For years, it was all about price, cheap labor, fast shipping, simple math. But now, the question is deeper. Can we trust where we build? Let's start with technology. Today's factories are full of sensors, screens, and smart machines. They track every step. They collect information on speed, on safety, on secrets. This data is gold, and companies want to protect it. But in China, some feel nervous. Laws in China say that the government can request company data at any time. Emails, designs, factory information. Even foreign companies must follow these rules. That scares some CEOs. Like James, who runs a high-tech drone company from California. He says, "Our designs are our life. If they leak, we're finished." James used to build in Shenzhen. Now, he's moving to Malaysia. Why? Not because of cost, because of control. He wants to keep his technology safe, his data private, and he's not alone. Many US and European companies are worried. They ask questions. Will our data stay in China? Can we talk freely with our teams? Will our ideas be stolen? These fears grew after 2019. That year, a Chinese tech company, Huawei, faced major backlash. The US said Huawei's equipment could be used for spying. Other countries followed, bans, restrictions, warnings, true or not. The message was clear. Tech and trust go together. So now, companies think twice. Not just, where is the labor cheap, but Where can we trust the system? And it's not just Western companies. Even Chinese tech firms feel pressure. They are building more factories outside China, in Vietnam, in Mexico, even in Europe. They want to protect their own supply chains. It's a strange turn. Technology once brought countries together. Now, it sometimes pulls them apart. So where do companies go? Some move to India, where laws are more open. Some move to Singapore, known for safety and strong privacy rules. Others go to Europe or North America to keep full control. But there's a cost. Building outside China can be expensive, slow, confusing. Still, many believe it's worth it. For peace of mind. Even Apple, which still relies heavily on China, now makes phones in India. It's about more than parts. It's about not putting all their trust in one place. Because in today's world, one data leak, one government rule can shut everything down. Technology is no longer just a tool. It's a weapon, a shield, a secret to protect. And trust? Trust is the wall around it. So yes, the factory exodus is about costs, but also about control, about safety, about the future. Where trust is low, factories leave. Where trust is high, factories grow. The game has changed. It's not just about making things. It's about making sure you're safe while you do it. Chapter 6. Technology and Trust. Factories make more than products now. They make something invisible but powerful. Data. And where that data goes, who controls it? That changes everything. For years, it was all about price, cheap labor, fast shipping, simple math. But now, the question is deeper. Can we trust where we build? Let's start with technology. Today's factories are full of sensors, screens, and smart machines. They track every step. They collect information on speed, on safety, on secrets. This data is gold, and companies want to protect it. But in China, some feel nervous. Laws in China say that the government can request company data at any time. Emails, designs, factory information. Even foreign companies must follow these rules. That scares some CEOs. Like James, who runs a high-tech drone company from California. He says, "Our designs are our life. If they leak, we're finished." James used to build in Shenzhen. Now, he's moving to Malaysia. Why? Not because of cost, because of control. He wants to keep his technology safe, his data private, and he's not alone. Many US and European companies are worried. They ask questions. Will our data stay in China? Can we talk freely with our teams? Will our ideas be stolen? These fears grew after 2019. That year, a Chinese tech company, Huawei, faced major backlash. The US said Huawei's equipment could be used for spying. Other countries followed. Bans, restrictions, warnings, true or not. The message was clear. Tech and trust go together. So now, companies think twice. Not just, where is the labor cheap? But, where can we trust the system? And it's not just Western companies. Even Chinese tech firms feel pressure. They are building more factories outside China, in Vietnam, in Mexico, even in Europe. They want to protect their own supply chains. It's a strange turn. Technology once brought countries together. Now, it sometimes pulls them apart. So where do companies go? Some move to India, where laws are more open. Some move to Singapore, known for safety and strong privacy rules. Others go to Europe or North America to keep full control. But there's a cost. Building outside China can be expensive, slow, confusing. Still, many believe it's worth it, for peace of mind. Even Apple, which still relies heavily on China, now makes phones in India. It's about more than parts. It's about not putting all their trust in one place. Because in today's world, one data leak, one government rule, can shut everything down. Technology is no longer just a tool. It's a weapon, a shield, a secret to protect. And trust? Trust is the wall around it. So yes, the factory exodus is about costs, but also about control, about safety, about the future. Where trust is low, factories leave. Where trust is high, factories grow. The game has changed. It's not just about making things. It's about making sure you're safe while you do it. Chapter 7. What about the workers? Every time a factory moves, someone's life changes. A job disappears in one place and appears in another. But for the people on the ground, it's not just business, it's personal. In the city of Shenzhen, China, May stands outside her factory. She has worked here for 12 years. She built phones, packed boxes, trained new workers. But now, the machines are silent. The factory is closing. The company is moving to Vietnam. May's voice shakes. They told us we had 2 weeks. No warning, no plan. She has a daughter in school, rent to pay, and no job. For May, the factory exodus isn't a global trend. It's a punch in the gut. And she's not alone. Across China, thousands of workers face the same thing. Some factories are cutting hours. Some are replacing people with robots. Others are leaving completely. For many workers, life is getting harder. But far away, in southern India, hope is rising. Near Chennai, 20-year-old Arjun just started at a new electronics factory. He wakes up at 6 a.m., eats quickly, and walks 20 minutes to work. His job? Testing phone screens. It's not easy, he says. But I'm proud. My family never had this chance. His mother smiles when he brings home his first paycheck. It's not much, but it's a beginning. Jobs that left China are creating new lives in places like India, Vietnam, and Mexico. New buildings, new buses, new canteens filled with noise and laughter. But not all new jobs are good jobs. In some places, workers sleep in crowded dorms. They stand for 10 hours a day. They earn just enough to survive. Like Lynn, a 19-year-old worker in northern Vietnam. She makes clothes for export. Her fingers are always sore. Her eyes always tired. I thought factory work would change everything, she says, but it's so hard. The truth is, some win, some lose. Some move forward, others fall behind. And it's not just about money. It's about dignity, security, being seen. When factories leave a town, they don't just take machines, they take purpose. In China, older workers struggle to find new jobs. They don't know coding. They can't switch to green energy work. Many feel forgotten. But there is hope. Some governments are offering retraining programs, teaching new skills in tech, healthcare, services. Some workers are opening small businesses, fixing bikes, cooking food, selling clothes online. People adapt because they must. But it's not easy. The world talks about trade, money, factories, but we must not forget the people behind it all. People like May, like Arjun, like Lynn. They are the real story. They carry the weight of every decision. So, who wins? Who suffers? It depends on where you live, on who supports you, on how fast you can change. One thing is certain. The factory exodus is not just about economics. It's about lives. And behind every box, every screen, every shirt, there's a name, a face, a family. Let's not forget them. Chapter 8. Winners, Losers, and the Future. The factory lights go off in one country and turn on in another. The world is moving, changing, shifting. But in every shift, someone wins and someone loses. Let's start with the winners. India. It's building fast. New factories rise in dusty fields. Thousands of young workers, like Arjun from Chapter 7, get their first job. Big companies, Apple, Samsung, Dell, are opening plants. India is loud, busy, full of energy. It wants to be the next factory giant. Then there's Vietnam, smaller than China or India, but very smart. Its leaders made business simple. Its ports are strong, and its workers are quick to learn. Vietnam became a favorite for clothing, electronics, even furniture. And don't forget, Mexico. Close to the U.S. quick delivery. Low costs. Car companies, tech firms, and home appliance brands are moving in. These countries are growing fast, but not everyone is rising. Now, the losers. Some towns in China are quiet. Factories have moved. Shops are closing. Older workers, like May in Shenzhen, feel lost. They gave their lives to these factories. Now they must start again, or be left behind. In the U.S., factory towns hoped jobs would return, but many didn't. Robots took some. Foreign factories kept others. And in Bangladesh, Some garment factories are losing contracts. Work goes to cheaper places, faster places. Workers are scared. It's a new game now, and not everyone knows the rules. Because this isn't just about who builds the most. It's about who builds smart, who builds safely, and who can be trusted. Technology is everywhere. Robots, AI, data systems. Trust matters more than ever. Can a country protect business secrets? Can it deliver fast, even in a crisis? The pandemic taught companies a lesson. Never put all your eggs in one basket. So, they spread out. One factory in China, one in India, one in Mexico. Safer, more flexible, but also more complex. For workers, this is a time of fear, but also a time of hope. Some lose jobs, others find better ones. Some must learn new skills or be replaced by machines. Governments are under pressure. Build faster, train better, protect workers. This shift is global. From factories in Tijuana, to robots in Suzhou, to training centers in Bengaluru. The future is being written. But here's the question: is this good for the world? Some say yes. More countries get a piece of the pie. More people get work. More balance, less risk. But others worry. More pollution. More shipping. More stress on workers. And what happens to those left behind? What happens to May? What happens to forgotten towns? We can't answer everything, but one thing is clear. The global game is changing, and no one is safe just because they were first. This is a race with no finish line. So, who wins? The countries that move fast, the companies that stay flexible, the workers who never stop learning. And who loses? Those who stay still. Those who wait. Those who think the old world is coming back. It's not. The new world is here. Chapter 9. Global supply chains. Broken or reborn. A ship sits still in the water. A factory waits for parts. A mother waits for medicine that never arrives. The world is connected. But when one link breaks, everything stops. This is the story of supply chains, the systems that move things around the world, from farms to factories to stores to homes. It sounds simple, but it's not. A phone made in Vietnam may need chips from Taiwan, glass from South Korea, designs from California, and wires from China. Now imagine. One part is late. Just one. The whole phone waits. In 2020, COVID shut down everything. Factories closed. Ports were blocked. Planes didn't fly. Ships couldn't dock. It was chaos. Car companies stopped making cars. Supermarkets ran out of toilet paper. Hospitals had no masks. People asked, how can this happen? Because the world was too connected, too dependent on just-in-time delivery. no backup, no safety net. When China locked down, the world felt it. One city closed, and 1,000 factories paused. Then came war in Ukraine. Suddenly, fuel prices jumped. Food prices soared. Even small items like screws and packaging became harder to find. The system cracked, and companies realized, we need to change. They started rethinking everything. Instead of one big supply chain, they built many smaller ones. Instead of just China, they added Vietnam, Mexico, India, Poland. They called it China Plus One. Keep China, but add other countries, just in case. And some went even further. They made factories closer to home. This is called nearshoring. Like a clothing company in the U.S., it used to make shirts in Bangladesh. Now it makes them in Honduras. Faster, safer, closer. But change is hard. New factories take time. Workers need training. Shipping systems must be built from scratch. Still, the shift has begun. And it's not just about speed. It's about resilience. The power to survive a shock. Think of it like a tree. A thin tree breaks in a storm. But a tree with strong roots bends and survives. Supply chains are learning to bend. Some companies now stockpile parts, just in case. Others build factories near customers. Some share resources with other companies. And technology helps. With smart software, companies can track shipments in real time. They can see problems coming and act fast. So, are supply chains broken? Yes, in some ways. But something else is happening too. They are being reborn. Not weaker, but wiser. Not faster, but smarter. Let's go back to Rosa, the factory worker in Mexico. Her plant now makes car parts for 3 countries. Before, it was just the U.S. Now, her team uses better tools. They follow tighter schedules. They're part of a new system, more local, more stable. She says, it's hard work, but we're building something real. And that's the point. This is not just about trade. It's about people, jobs, families, nations. The old supply chain was cheap, but the new one? It might be strong. So, broken or reborn? Maybe both. The global supply chain failed, but now it's finding a new shape. One that can move through storms and still deliver, not just products, but possibility. Chapter 10. Who will lead tomorrow? A ship sails west. A plane takes off in the east. A factory turns on its lights in a brand new city. The race for the future has already begun. For 30 years, one country led the way. China. It had the workers, the machines, the speed. It became the factory of the world. But now, the world is changing. Factories are moving. Supply chains are shifting. And everyone is asking the same question. Who will lead tomorrow? Let's look at the players. China still makes more than any other country. It has roads, ports, railways, and experience. Its factories are fast, its workers skilled, its systems strong. But costs are rising. Politics are tense. Some companies feel nervous. They stay, but also look elsewhere. Next comes India. It has a young population, over 600 million under the age of 25. It has strong tech talent, and it's building fast. Apple, Foxconn, Dell, they're all moving in. India says, "We are ready to lead." But power cuts still happen. Rules can be slow, and not all roads lead to the port. India is rising, but still has a long climb. Then there's Mexico. It's close to the U.S. It's growing fast, and nearshoring makes it a top choice. Tesla is building. So are car part companies, appliance brands, and more. But Mexico has its own struggles. Some areas lack safety. Some towns don't have enough trained workers. Still, the momentum is real. And we can't forget Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia. Small, but smart. They offer speed, flexibility, and low costs. They are learning fast. And for many companies, they are the perfect +1. Even Africa is rising. In Ethiopia, new clothing factories have opened. In Rwanda, tech centers are growing. Slowly, quietly, the seeds of the future are being planted. So, who wins? Maybe the better question is, what does winning even mean now? Because the old game, one country making everything, is over. The new game? Many players, many places, one connected world. Think of it like this. Your phone might be designed in California, with chips from Taiwan, assembled in India, shipped from Mexico, and sold in London. This is the new factory world. Not one leader, but many hubs, a web of power, moving and changing every day. But this world needs something more than machines. It needs trust, stability, people who believe in tomorrow. People like Arjun in India, Rosa in Mexico, and even May in China, who's learning a new skill to start again. These are the real leaders. The ones on the factory floor, the ones packing the boxes, the ones building the future, one shift at a time. So, who will lead tomorrow? China, India, Mexico, or someone else entirely? We don't know yet, but one thing is certain. The world will never be the same. The age of one factory is ending. The age of many has begun, and it's just getting started.